Amy, thank you for being here in person. You're always a good support to us. You all know me, and I want to introduce Jenna. I've been so awful today. Jenna Hayden, and it's short for Virginia. And she is a local artist that I've met and have enjoyed her work and her friendship. And she's done a short course for us before, but it was always on Zoom. And this time she's speaking on art and emotional well-being. And she has a beautiful display, and she even has some art here with her today. So I'm going to let her take the floor so we can get on and we'll learn some good things.
Okay.
Thanks, Jenna.
All right, thank you, and thank you all for coming. So this talk is about improving your emotional well-being through art. And what may be surprising is that it doesn't matter whether you create the art or you appreciate the art. The benefits are the same. In fact, a study in Norway suggested that people who viewed art on 4 different occasions received the same benefit as the artist did. They had lower rates of anxiety and depression. 84% of those who participated had reported good health, and 91% reported a high level of life satisfaction. It was the same for the artists. So now here's a fun fact. Viewing art that you find beautiful, the brain mimics the feelings of falling in love. So you get pleasure and desire.
Okay.
Not yet. No, it's fine. And it can increase the blood flow to your brain by as much as 10%. So the next time you want to spice up your life, maybe go buy some art. So for some, viewing art can have even more dramatic effects. Comedian Bill Murray credits a painting for saving his life. As a young comedian, he felt he wasn't good enough, and he was in Chicago, and he was so despondent that he was going to drown himself in the lake there. And he was walking toward it. He found himself on the steps of the Art Institute there in Chicago, and he went inside and he saw this painting, Song of the Lark by Jules Adolphe Breton, and it changed his life. And this is a quote of what he said. Well, there's a girl who doesn't have a whole lot of prospects, but the sun's coming up anyway, and she's got another chance at it. So I think that gave me some sort of feeling that I too am a person, and I get another chance every day the sun comes up. So there is another person, artist J.T. Hall, who had a very serious accident. A gas canister blew up and burned him severely from his knees to his feet, and he was in the hospital for a really long time. His youngest daughter, I think she was about 6, started coloring and cutting out shapes of fish for him. She would bring him one each day and tape it to the wall in his patient room. She wanted to create an aquarium for her father because she had heard that aquariums are relaxing for people. So he found this so moving and so beneficial to his healing journey that he decided to create these little art kits for children in the hospital. And he created painted a scene, an underwater scene. He had them printed on metal, and he had little blank fish shapes that were magnetized. He gathered crayons and markers, and he put everything in a little backpack for a child, and then he would hand them out to the children who were in the hospital. And it made him feel really good that he could help a child forget about the pain and suffering that they were going through while they were in the hospital, at least for a little while. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. There are many other benefits you can have when you're viewing art. This is a photo of my husband. We were at the Frida Kahlo exhibit at the Art Museum, the Albuquerque Art Museum. It's a really fun time. Studies show that strolling through an art museum or a gallery can lower stress, improve memory, and improve empathy. So these were really valuable. And then the University of Westminster found that people who viewed art on their lunch hour actually had lower levels of cortisol after 35 minutes. So we want that, don't we? And it helps with mental exhaustion in the same way that a walk in nature does. So art can also be really funny in surprising ways. The University of Arizona shared that the brain wants to make sense of what we see. So if there's some kind of an abstract form or something, the brain wants to turn it into a face or some other recognizable object. And that's what happens when we look at clouds. You see something in there? Yeah, of course, there's a dog in the cloud and you get this little, bit of reward right then. Excuse me. And it's great if you're sitting next to someone and then you both can share it. And of course, it's better if you find it first. But and then I saw this on Facebook. These are sneakers that somebody could imagine them as being laughing people, and this person made little outfits for the laughing faces, and I just thought it was hysterical. And it does point out what the brain will do when it's faced with something that it wants to make more sense out of. So how can we make art even more enjoyable? Well, we can take a little more time with it. So this is a painting, Winter Pond by Dorothy Knapp. She was my dear mother-in-law and a fabulous pastel artist. Sometimes some people, when they're looking at a piece of art, they imagine being the artist and, painting that painting. And other people imagine being in the scene. So you can imagine your boots crunching on the snow, and the chilliness of the air, but the sun is shining in this painting as it does in New Mexico so much, and you can feel the warmth on your face or on your back. Or maybe you want to look at a painting of a beach scene, and you can feel your bare feet on that warm sand and the sun's just caressing you, and maybe you want to take a dip in that cool turquoise ocean water. It's like taking a little mini vacation. So and we can also analyze a painting. There are many ways to analyze a painting. This is one way. This is Tangerine Joyride. It's one of mine. So the first thing you can do is just look at the overall painting and think about what you're seeing and what isn't there. Is there something like behind a shape that you kind of wish you knew what was there? Maybe it's a little bit mysterious. Mystery can be very engaging. And look for a moment at the line, and then look at the shapes. How does the color make you feel? Either you have a feeling or a response to orange or some of the other colors that are in there. And is there a center of interest? There's this, how does your gaze get there? What leads you to it? And then how does the overall painting make you feel? Are you curious? Are you calm or energized? Color is really important as far as those kinds of things go. So now where can you go to find great art to practice our analyzing skills? So you can go to art museums and galleries, of course. This is a gallery I was part owner in Silver City. It was a very fun time. It's called The Place. You can go to art fairs, and those are lots of fun. You can look in books, and you can go to social media. Instagram is fabulous. You can just put in contemporary oil paintings, and you'll get a ton of subject matter. In small blue sculptures and get a lot of those, and then you can start refining. So Instagram's great because you don't have to go away from your phone. It's right there. And you can create art. So if you choose to create art, you can hit 5 areas that Dr. Martin Seligman determined were important for overall happiness. He called it PERMA. He's a big name in positive psychology. So the first is pleasure. You know, if you're creating art, you should find it pleasurable. There's engagement when you can enter that state of flow sometimes, and you forget about, you know, time. It just slips away from you. It's a very beneficial state. Then there are relationships. We can kindle new relationships and we can strengthen old ones. You can take an art workshop, meet new students, and that's fun, and share your art with others. The meaning. So meaning that goes beyond yourself. You know, maybe you're sharing your art with a friend and you're lowering their blood pressure or you're uplifting their spirits. You know, there are many ways that art can be meaningful, and we all want to have a meaningful life. And then there's accomplishment. So don't wait until the end of your art project to start feeling good about what you're accomplishing. You want to feel good about it all the way along. Maybe you start off with a little thumbnail sketch, and you feel good. You think you're going to make a really good painting out of that. Then you can have a great underpainting, or you choose a really good color palette. And, you know, so feel accomplishment all the way along the line. It's important to your happiness. So you can find it in a lot of people do adult coloring books. They find that fun and reduces their stress. A lot of people enjoy photography, and they're very talented at it. And, you know, you can take all kinds of classes. So that's kind of about the benefit of art in general. So what about art in the workplace? So a calming piece of art can lower your blood pressure because it lowers your stress. It's a good thing we don't often get our blood pressure taken at work. I know that would have been alarming to me many times. But this is a painting by Claude Monet, Water Lilies. It's an impressionistic painting, and it's a lot of people find impressionistic paintings very, very soothing and calming. Forbes magazine reported that 78% of respondents to a survey they did claimed that art in the workplace helped them lower their stress. And that was 800 respondents and 32 businesses. So it's a pretty good sampling. Now here is a painting by Jackson Pollock, one of his drip paintings. It's watery paths. Jackson Pollock's drip paintings have fractals in them. And those are those shapes that are repeated in varying sizes. And studies have shown that fractals reduce stress by 60% in the first 3 seconds. So they're very, very valuable. And we'll talk more about fractals later in this talk. So besides lowering stress, what other benefits can you realize from art in the workplace? And one study, or many studies, show that it can increase productivity. One study said it can increase it by as much as 15%. And if the employees have some kind of input into the art that's around them, it can increase their productivity by as much as 32%. And that's huge. So you can imagine how wonderful the employees feel with that jump in productivity. They feel very accomplished. Battery is running low. Okay.
I've got it.
Okay. So it's a win for the employees, and it's a win for the boss too. So, and now this is a little woo-woo, but art increases creativity. So you're trying to solve a problem, it's not coming together, and you're at your desk and you get up and walk around the office and you go look at some art, and a painting shares its creativity with you, and a whole new world opens up, and an idea pops into your head. It's magical. And I realize that's a little woo-woo, but you know, I think it works. So, art encourages communication. So because we respond to art emotionally, it makes it easier to share our opinions. And when we can share our opinions about the art, then we can share our opinions about other things that may be important discussions in business. So when people are communicating in that way, they feel more connected to their coworkers and then more connected to the business. So communication and connectiveness. Art is also another way to let your customers know what you're about. So no art on the walls can say, you know, we haven't really figured out our direction yet. But wonderful, rich art says that we know what we're doing. So you can imagine going into a business, there's no art that to greet you, you know, just a blank wall. And then imagine going into a place that has a wonderful piece of art. So it's especially beneficial if the art is connected to your mission and your values. So let's have a little fun now. And we're going to get this battery hooked up. Oops. Oh, technology is so fine kettle of fish.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, weird. Okay, well, the battery is charging, but I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
We had it working, so.
It's not coming up.
How did it change?
What, do you want me to move? Do you need
No,
to
you're
be
okay.
here?
Okay. Oh, maybe just the screen went. No. Beautiful. Is there anything? Oh, the computer on. When did that happen? Yeah, the battery, that's exactly what happened.
It died right before.
Yeah.
Yes. Worse. These troubles. There.
Okay, yay. All right, so we're gonna look at some particular types of businesses, have a little fun with it. Let's say that you are, where's my, there we go. You're selling cowboy boots. Well, let's make it a high-end cowboy boot store. So what kind of art would be beneficial in a cowboy boot store? So let's look at this one. This is Summer Calm by John Lowermilch. It's a gorgeous painting, blues and turquoises, and very, very well done. I'm not sure it says cowboy boots. So maybe not that one. Now here is a big photo of a rattlesnake. Now, granted, some people are gonna leave if they see a great big photo of a rattlesnake. But if it were me and I was looking at that photo of a rattlesnake, I'd be saying, bring me all of those very tall cowboy boots in my size. Yes, all of them. I have a credit card. It's fine. So, keep in mind what your audience is and what you want to say. So here is a gorgeous Marc Chagall. Of course, you don't have to have a Marc Chagall, but this is very, very romantic and beautifully painted. Not sure it goes in a cowboy boot store. Can you guys think of a place where it might be appropriate, a business that it might work well in?
Office.
A what?
Like a counseling
A
office.
counselor's office. Yeah,
Um,
really good.
Business,
Jeweler, yeah, maybe something in the wedding industry, so, it's a lovely, lovely painting. Now, maybe the architectural design of your place, your business is something that you want to include in what you're saying to the public about your business. So let's say that it is uh, steel and glass. And you want to say that your business is about being modern and progressive. And so you probably don't want a heavily framed picture painting of some very traditional subject matter that is not going to say what you want your business to say. So just think about it, but also keep in mind diversity. Maybe you have a beautiful painting of a horse that would go really well in the cowboy boot store. But you don't want 6 beautiful paintings of horses, you want more bang for your buck and you want to appeal to more people. So diversity of art comes up again and again. Maybe you have a wonderful art budget and storage and you can rotate art, once or twice a year and, refresh your business that way. If you don't have that kind of budget and storage space, you can just move art around so that you have you re-energize your space. So it's good to think about. Now we're going to move on into healthcare facilities in particular. They have special considerations when placing art in their public areas and exam rooms. And the reasons have to do with the comfort of the patients and the daily experience of the caregivers and the staff, because it makes a difference in the health. So what kind of benefits can we expect from having art in these types of facilities? Well, patients feel welcomed and valued, and many experts agree that this contributes to faster healing. Cancer patients report less anxiety, less fatigue, and less distress. So here is a photo of high resolution in Albuquerque. I'm sorry, it's an ugly photo of a rather lovely building. They do mammograms and bone density tests and x-rays and that kind of thing. And they have fabulous art in this building. Here is a picture in the main waiting room, trying to ignore that ugly sign right next to the pretty art. But that is glass fused on metal, I believe, and the colors are so happy and cheerful and uplifting. It's a very pleasant place to sit while you're waiting for your appointment. Here is a hallway that has this gorgeous wall art that's so beautiful. It's done by the same artist that did the one in the waiting room, but they do have a diversity of art throughout the building. They even the purple squares or diamonds, are fun that lead you where they want you to go. Now, in every room that you're in, there is art. You go from like the main waiting room to another waiting room, and then you go into your testing room. And if you mention something about the art to whoever is helping you, and I've been there many times, and they are so happy to tell you about, their experience with this art and why they love it. And they're just so proud to be working there. It feels really good, and you have a happy experience while you're there. They have art in the halls. They have these wonderful little niches and other wall hangings. And then when you're done with your testing, you're all but turned around, and they will use it as a wayfinding tool to help you find the exit. Like go down, and when you get to that niche with the beautiful abstract of a woman, turn left, and you will see the exit sign. So it's a really a very pleasant experience when you're at that location. So here is the New Mexico Cancer Center, a gallery with a cause. Yes, it is wonderful. It does. It does. That's my husband. We had just finished hanging my art. I was in that show last November, and they change it every 3 or 4 months. The curator is great. It's filled, just like you said, it's filled with them. So I think between 32 local artists, and unless you have huge paintings, they have you bring in 15 to 20 pieces of art, so it is just jam-packed, but beautifully displayed. It doesn't look junky. The curator is very, very professional. And I had an opportunity to talk to the young woman who I believe is the art director. So not the curator, but she told me that she was a patient there when she was in college, so she was like 19 or something like that. And, she was, of course, so scared. And she came to this cancer center, and she said there was art on the walls, and it helped her forget about this awful thing that was going on with her health for a little while. It made a huge difference in, her healing journey. And she has this great job there. So, it was very beneficial. Yeah, she's a delightful young woman. Now, patients in a dental clinic reported less stress when a large painting was hung in the waiting room. And I thought this would work really well in a dentist's office. It's got these lovely, cool greens and blues, and that interesting detail in the lower right-hand corner. Summer Calm by Alice Sheridan. It's, so intriguing. I think it would easily take your mind off of what might be happening in the dentist chair when we're going to be in there. And hopefully they have some art in that room too. So lower pressure was noted in this one place where pre-surgical patients on a gurney had nature scenes on the ceiling to look at while they're being wheeled to the OR. And that would be so much better than those scary lights and awkward angles of people. We're not very often in that situation, and it's unfamiliar. So it's nice to see nature on the ceiling. Now, location and appropriateness of the art makes a difference. Here is a beautiful painting of a prickly pear cactus. The colors are so rich and wonderful, and it's just a really, really beautiful painting. I can see it in a home. I can see it in a cowboy boot store, but I'm not sure I would love to see it in a lab where I'm going to get my blood drawn. So just be careful where you put things. Let's see. So Cleveland Clinic, and well-known health clinic, is also very well known for their art collection that they have for their patients and their caregivers and staff. They found benefits in using representational art and abstract art, but it was all contemporary. Their themes were figurative to global diversity, collaboration, and pop culture. So here is one, an R.C. Gorman that would go really well there, but also beautifully here is so wonderful. We're so proud to have R.C. Gorman as part of our Southwestern family of fabulous artists. It's really beautiful. And I did also see online of the art that I saw for the Cleveland Clinic, a lot of geometric abstracts. So geometric abstracts there, of course, are very happy colors, uplifting. They are easy to look at. You know what's going on. It's a design, circles or squares or rays of different things or grids and so forth. It's not a real head scratcher, and I know some abstract art is a little confusing. So, but geometric abstraction is usually, it's very popular and easy to enjoy. So patients in the Cleveland Clinic reported improved mood, less stress, and some even reported less pain, which I thought was wonderful. The curator of the Cleveland Clinic said that the two most important factors in the art environment that they create are diversity of art, again, and the quality of the art. They have really high quality art. And so that's a wonderful thing. And a quote from this article that I thought it was so meaningful. It's probably the curator that came up with it, said that the art lifts the spirit and affirms life and hope. And don't we want that when we go into a healthcare facility? So. Now, the University of California at Berkeley found that awe-inspiring art lowers the chemicals that cause inflammation. There are some other emotions that art can bring out: amusement, compassion, contentment, joy, love, and pride. Those also lower those chemicals, but awe-inspiring art had the strongest response. And I immediately thought of Wilson Hurley, who, this is Sundown at the Narrows, but he did those gorgeous Grand Canyon paintings that are so lovely. His work is just breathtaking, and whether you're a landscape lover or not, it is still awe-inspiring when you see it. Now back to fractals. This is Sharon Cummings Nautilus shell art, and you can see it's made of fractals. Those are the shapes that just get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It's a beautiful painting, by the way. Here, whoops, I've done something. Let's go way there. And then let me come back. So I found this planting that I'm going to show you at Lowe's. It's full of succulents. I thought it was a really pretty little planting. I wanted to share it with you. It is full of fractals, different kinds of fractals, but they're all, there, smaller and smaller and smaller of the same shapes. And that's kind of the definition of fractals. So we see fractals in nature all the time. You see it in trees, you have your main trunk and the branches, and then off of those branches you have little replicas of the trees, and it continues like that. You see it in flowers, you see it in leaves, lightning, anything that spirals, of course, like the bottom of a pine cone, you can see it. It's very relaxing. So why is it so relaxing? Well, they're mesmerizing. we can get lost in them. They're not too demanding to look at, and yet they're still interesting, and they activate a part of the brain that is responsible for lowering stress. So that's kind of it for art in businesses and in healthcare facilities in particular. I want to move on to art in the home now. So how can you improve your emotional well-being in your home? Well, it can trigger happy memories. A lot of art is purchased when you're on vacation. And, maybe you went to Hawaii and you bought a lovely floral painting, or maybe a great tiki. And every time you look at it, you remember that trip that you took and it was so much fun. Maybe you went to San Francisco, like my sister did, and you bought a painting and had it shipped, and now it's over your fireplace, and you're enjoying that memory of being in that place for a while. So it releases those happy chemicals. It can be a great conversation starter when you have guests, and it creates some social bonding, and that's fun and feels good. And the art that you display can tell where you are in your life at this time. Yeah, and it can share more of your personality. And we want, our personality to be reflected in our homes. Why not? It's our home. It should be about us. So that's important. Now, color has an effect on your mood. So red is passionate, and blue can signify serenity and trust. And green is about renewal, and yellow is about hope and happiness. So I have a chart that I will give you. I shamelessly copied it off the internet. So, huh? Yeah, thank you.
Do we need a pen?
Yeah, a pen would be helpful. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so while you're looking over those, let's see. Here are a couple of abstracts. So think about how does this painting make you feel? It's a 30 by 40, and people will have different responses. That's fine. How about this one? Does it make you feel the same way? Huh?
Agitated.
Agitated. Okay. Let's go back. That one. It is kind of watery. Okay. So you can turn your color card over and draw a simple floor plan of your home. We're not going to collect these. We're not going to share them, so it can just be as casual as you want. And then you can just label the rooms. This is just something real quick. Okay, so now is there a room that you'd like to see more art in, or maybe change out some of the art?
Yes.
What would you like a piece of art in this room to show about you? Maybe your sense of humor or your sophistication. Maybe your love of nature or lightheartedness, intensity. We have lots of different sides to us, and it doesn't mean that you're only one way, but what might you want to show about you in this room that you've chosen? Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, I want lightheartedness because it's kind of like a communal room. It's the open space kitchen.
Oh, wonderful. So lighthearted, maybe something whimsical or
I like folk art. To that
folk
extent,
art. I
because folk
love.
art is very whimsical.
Yes, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've kind of taken my time.
Because what?
I have Adobe and it's very hard to
Oh.
find things.
I get it.
But I have a few things, but nothing like I used to. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I like color in that room.
So, okay.
Because everything is pretty muted otherwise. I have
Yeah.
like gray cabinets and white and gray, and it's kind of neutral
Ah,
and muted. So I like
Right. It'd be a
pops.
beautiful background for, whatever you chose, something folk arty would be really, really fun. How about you?
No, I'm kind of been rearranging things anyway. I think more than anything else.
More to enhance the bedroom?
Yeah. Calming.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. The bedroom that we don't want anything, anything aggravating or agitating. So are you we've talked about this, so you might be looking for something warm and comforting or cool and crisp and maybe provocative, and that's fun too. Think about the size. Large can be attention grabbing, of course, but small can tell a story, and especially in a grouping. But you can put something small next to a doorway that you go by all the time, and that's a great place for a small piece of work. Think about representational, abstract, realism, or abstract, or just maybe the thrill of the hunt, and you see something and then it occurs to you, that's what I need, that's what I want. So that's wonderful. I want to share with you a little bit about the psychology of the placement of center of interest. Just it's fun to know. So if you have put a little tic-tac-toe on the back of your paper there. And then draw little circles around the intersections where the lines cross. Okay, now typically if you have a piece of art, a painting or something that has if it has a point of interest, and they don't all, but many do. So if your point of interest is in the top area, those two little circles up at the top, that indicates a more uplifting, happy, energetic position. If they're in the lower portions, those two little lower intersections, that indicates a more calming and restful position. So it's something you might want to consider. I wouldn't say that if you find a piece of art that has a point of interest in the top and you love it, but you were looking for something calming, I wouldn't say don't get it, but just be aware. It's a little psychological something to know about. Huh?
I never knew that.
No, I learned it not too long ago. Oh, and I lost it again here. Yes. Huh?
I think it's logging off.
It's logging me off. What do I have? Can I just touch it and I'll come back up?
Maybe.
I have to put in this.
I don't know
I'm
why it-
sorry.
It's not your fault. It's okay. It's just what it does.
Okay.
Sometimes these things. No, don't, you're not going to sleep. Sorry, it's not my computer.
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay, so now, we're coming near the end and I just wanted to go over the benefits of including art in your life. Again, there are 16. So greater feelings of life satisfaction, lower rates of anxiety, lower rates of depression, lower stress level, improved memory, improved empathy, feeling refreshed, lower cortisol, yay, increased feelings of accomplishment, increased creativity, increased communication, increased connectedness, feeling welcome and valued. And that's not just, when you go into a business or a healthcare facility, but when you come home too, you want to feel welcome and valued in your home. Less fatigue, less distress, and it triggers happy memories. So that's it for this talk about art and your emotional well-being. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them or try to.
I just wanted to share something with you. I love the benefits. There's 16 benefits. That's a lot.
It's a lot of
That's like-
benefits.
I have this in my shared stuff, so I'm gonna make sure I print some as a prompt you to think about when you are viewing art. And not that you need to be confident, but it's nice to know that all of these things.
It is nice. Yeah.
I don't know if you happened to see in the news about the Frida Kahlo that was sold for the most, I think it was the most ever auction for a piece of art.
Wow.
And it was the one of her where it's a picture of her on the forehead.
Oh,
She's,
she has a
yes.
painting on her
Painting on
forehead.
her forehead, yes.
Yes.
That's-
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yes,
Isn't that?
so, and I saw that on the news last night. I was just like, and I thought of you right away.
Ah, yes. Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
wonder, did you hear how much it cost?
I didn't, I know it was like, it was
Mega millions,
Yes,
mega
but-
millions.
And,
Yeah.
and it was really interesting because the person who purchased it was, it was a museum.
Oh,
But
wow.
they paid-
Good.
They paid, yes, that's what made it happen. too.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's not going in storage to
Right.
increase in value.
Right, right.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I had heard that Jackson Pollock's work goes for 500 million.
Yeah.
So this Frida Kahlo, wow,
Yeah,
isn't
and
that
it surpassed, they said it set a record as far as what.
yeah, must have, yeah, wow.
was really up there.
Oh, that's wonderful to know. Wonderful to know. So, okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you, Jeannie, for coming. I appreciate it. And I'm so glad to, and you people on Zoom, that was wonderful.
Thank you for being here.
um,
That really makes a big difference. I think that, and if Dr. White's still on,
He
it
is.
was so apropos. Next time we have an art show, we'll make sure that Jenna's here.
I'll be delighted. To be here. That would be so fun.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for all the hard work and the great presentation, and I apologize for some of the kinks in
Oh, well,
in some of the equipment and things, but
it's
you
my
know,
own lack of ability
dry
with
run and,
technology.
but the art shows through no matter what. So
Ah,
thank you so much. It
Oh,
was
thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you
It
guys
was-
for being here.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll make sure you get that, Denise, okay?
Yes, and I'll include it when I send out the link.
Okay,
Okay.
that's much appreciated. Dr. White, thanks for being on, and Denise, thanks for always being on and supporting.
Of course.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh.